Good afternoon. I hope you had a very nice conference here and enjoyed the most presentations till now. I hope you enjoy mine and afterwards too. And as I mentioned, I will present the Digital Euro and Digital Identity presentation now. This is a presentation that we made together with Accenture. First of all, for myself, I come from Deutsche Bundesbank in a part of the Department for Strategy and Innovations. And in our InnoWork, how we tell to ourselves, we foster innovation, digitalization and culture and want to change to better. And mostly, yes please? Yes. Okay. And we want to foster innovation further in the bank and other ecosystems too. Myself, I'm very experienced since the 3 years in topics like IoT, cloud and DLT. And together with Nicklas T, who is unfortunately absent today, we present you a pilot. Nicklas was a very important part too in this pilot that we made with his experience, 8 years experience in DLT and 4 years experience in digital identities. He was a crucial part too in the pilot that we made here. And besides, I want to say thank you to developers too that are here to make it possible to have this pilot now that we can now present and tell you how the story goes on, how we did it in the end. Let's start with the presentation. First of all, before I begin, I will tell you what the Digital Euro is. I mean, most of you heard about it, but don't know exactly what it is. A Digital Euro is digital money that has been central bank based, been emitted from the central banks, and we want to achieve parallel dependent to the cash that we have now. And what is so special about cash? It's a very private, has a very high privacy, because there is near to no data transmission between the parties, between the person that is being spending it and the PSPs or providers that are being emitting this. As you can see, the data cash withdrawal amounts are being just communicated to the person that is being taking the currency to himself, but there is no data communication between the other PSPs and the persons that are being part of this transactional system. If you take the other, if you look up to the, no, that's not what I wanted. But nevertheless, if you look the other on the other the other side of the things to the electrical payments, there have always been exchanged informations, and there's a large amount of personal data being transmitted between them. And we want to reach the same stage like with cash in the digital currency and with the digital euro. And we pose a question at our pilot: how do we want to reach the same anonymity but security with cash in a digital solution? First of all, what we did, we posed 5 challenges that we wanted to solve in this pilot. First of all was how we reached anonymity transaction processing, that we can fulfill AML requirements and KYC requirements. We want to consider holding limits that have been put up on digital euro. Means we want to achieve that there's a holding limit, how much you can spend with the digital euro. We want to have a very nice scalable solution design where we can exchange 20,000 transactions per second in 2 seconds time per processing of one per transaction. And we want to lean into the decentralized system design that is offering these structures. Means we want to achieve maximum scalability and system stability of it. For the last, we want to have transaction disclosure as most as possible in the event of fraudulent procedures, but we want to be feasible by not be feasible by a single organization to protect the user privacy in the end. So in our first step, we have 2 persons, or here in this case, Max and Marie. Mary wants to send €5 to Max. The problem is Max needs to now communicate to Marie in which address is going this money. And he needs to communicate a target address in the end. Well, what can Max do? He can tell you a really big number or a really small number that is being communicated between the 2 parties. And that's the first questions that we pose in the end. First of all, if we give a wallet address over to the other user, the risk of user privacy is being neglected, and the traceability potential is very high or very stable in it. But the ease of use is very limited, or you can use it. You can do it with an alias like PayPal did with his payments being under a name, but they are traceable too, mostly, and the user use there, but we risk again the user privacy in the end. And for the last is the public key. It's a very good transaction-based method for traceability. It's easy and safe to exchanges, but it's not easy for the users. They're really then long hashes of numbers that you can communicate to the other person. And what we thought about it in the second step is then, how can we exchange the target addresses with verifiable credentials? In this step, we wanted to have a verifiable credential as a communication mediator to provide these in batches to the user that is pulling the payment up. And he is communicating with his PSP. And over the PSP, he communicates to Marie the address. And this address being forwarded again to her PSP for verification and how much euro she wants to transfer to it. Okay, you're now asking, how I can verify whether this PSP is a very trustable one. Well, the next step, that's the first one, it's not traceable, it's compliant in this step too. And we have also an offline preparations to it. Max can stay offline if you have some verified credentials at his disposal, and he can exchange then the currencies offline too. But the next step, like I said, we want to verify this PSP, and how can we do it? In the end, if we put up a trust list for PSPs in the middle, the PSP can verify the PSP1 through it, and tell then Marie, it's okay, it's a good verifiable transaction. We can trust you that this transaction is good for you. And in this, as you can see, we are now AML compliant with this, and we have a fraud protection for the user. That means that the transactions are not really traceable by single party, nor centrally. And now, like I said, the digital euro plans to have a holding limit. In this next step, we want to implement a method to check or request the holding limit of the other PSP. With authentication methods by DID out, we can request from the PSP the information. Is it available? Does the user overreached, or is in the possible amount to give the money away? And after no blocking from the other PSP for the transaction, the process will go through. In the end, what we have done then with this process is a pseudonymization of the communication in the end, where the PSP authentication, like I said, is over the DID authentication. With these steps, we had closed all 5 challenges that I mentioned in the beginning. We have now an anonymous transaction processing with what is AML compliant or anti-money laundering compliant. We have considering the holding limit that the digital euro is posing. And we have a solution, a scalable design with a decentralized system design and a disclosure of the transaction. In the end, we came to very far with the project. Our developers from Accenture made it possible that we have a very functioning pilot where the functions like payment credentials, account balance, and anonymous payment data are being shown and transmitted. And now we're in the process to finalize it and bring this to the communication layer of the backend of the digital euro PSP, with possibilities to acquire further public keys, account balance from the wallet address, and anonymous payment data from it. Next step. Here. I will go old school, sorry. I prepared for you too how the pilot looks like here in the end phase. As you can see, we have a nice design for the front end and key functionalities that we already implemented. On the left, you can see that we have this transactional data on history, one transaction, how big is the account balance from the person, and how we can request money with this token that I mentioned before. And in other side, you can see then from a pilot how it looks like to send money, how to input the address, and we can scan a QR code too between the two parties to transmit the money. And this is momentally where we are with the pilot, and we hope we can further develop it to a better solution then. And looking ahead, we are bridging the gap between the payments and the digital identity wallets till now. We want to dream further about other possibilities that is holding, like built on the same standards like the most what's using for the digital identities, on the standards that are known to us. We want to support other use cases with it. Often identity or proof are required along with payments, like you want to pay something for a alcoholic beverage in your local store. He needs to check your age of consent to buy this drink. Or similar, what I have as an example too is we can digital and refrain from it whether this person is real. If you want to submit some documents to your local entities or local governments. And that's one of the possibilities that will foster digital identities and payments per se. And we want to provide a both-in-one solution which covers user daily needs, for daily lives, for your daily stuff like governance, like mentioned here. And yeah, that was the most of it. I hope you liked the presentation, and I'm very keen to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So coming to questions. Isn't Bitcoin the future?
It's an opinionated question, I believe. From my standpoint, well, it's a currency for himself. For my opinion, the digital euro is a better solution for it because it's not a programmable money. It's not being emitted from other parties, and Bitcoin is not so stable like I know. But yeah, no, I don't believe mostly that Bitcoin is the future. The digital euro is the future, I believe.
Thank you. Next question. We have already instant payments. Where's the added value with digital euro?
With the digital euro, you get central bank money, first of all, from a trustable from a trustable government, from a trustable entity, and it should mostly prosper other things like payment. We can provide an alternative for fostering further solutions in this space on our infrastructure. We can reduce costs with it too, and we could look up to not be dependent to other private equities or private firms that are providing payment solutions. It's an open for everybody.
Can you say with certainty that digital euro wouldn't be misused by establishment the moment next crisis comes, e.g. COVID or something else?
I didn't understand the question, sorry. Can we misuse establishment the moment next crisis? No. The digital euro, like our institutions, is a trustable institutions, and we are acting on behalf of the citizen and want to be a public good for everybody. We will, the central banks and the ECB will not profit on the people, and the people are being there on the longer side to declare what will be good for them with the digital euro in the end.
How do you prevent digital euro being used to hide crime, e.g. money laundering?
These details being discussed, how it would look like. We want to have fraud prevention in it. We want to have systems like we have now with other institutions that are checking frauds. And this will be a core argument to foster it further to digital euro. If it's not happening, it's not happening. But we want to have this. And it should be a core, core setting that we need to have for the digital euro.
You mentioned that Bitcoin's price isn't stable for it to be good money. What about inflation and infinite money printing with our currencies?
I'm a technical guy, please. I don't know about this. Next question, please.
What is the driver for such project? Don't cryptocurrencies and blockchain solve all of these issues? What do you see as a key difference that makes this solution viable?
Can I have the question too? What do you see as a key difference? Well, the main driver for our institution is to prosper innovation and to pilot new solutions and offer it to the environmental bodies that they know which direction could go. Like I said, it's a pilot, it's not a productive system, nothing like this. And which advantages we will harvest after it comes with the time. I believe it should have good prosperities because of it, because it's a public good in the end, and the people will in the end decide whether it's good or not for it, for himself.
When is digital euro expected to be usable by the public?
There's no timeline per se when will be finished, but there's transparency because of it on the sites from ECB. There are timelines, they illustrate in which process we are now. Momentarily, we're in the process of looking up what's the best solution to explore, what are possibilities. And in this moment now, we are formulating a code of conduct and some ground rules, how it will be used in the end.
Can you say with certainty that digital euro wouldn't be misused by establishment the moment? Oh, sorry. Wouldn't it be easier to implement this pilot into every trusted bank's mobile applications?
That's from the public institutions to decide in the end. I mean, it's opinionated again. Would be nice, yes, but in the end, the institutions are deciding for themselves whether they want this like this. And the boards that are deciding on it, I'm going to every point in the technical catalog that needs to be done before it can make a decision on it. That's the point about it.
Do you really believe that it will be anonymous even for secret services? What about programmability of digital euro, which could lead to digital gulag?
I will tell you first of all, so the second part first, no, it would not be programmable. That's already decided, and it's very bad then for everybody, for us. And for the first part, no. We have no interest in the data. We are a trusted organization, a trusted institution, and it will be all being done without providing or without getting information from it.
How do you monetize your product?
Monetize? I'm here for free, people.
Is the long-term goal of a digital euro to replace classical euro?
Classical euro, you mean, I believe, cash in the audience? No, it will be extension to the cash. It will not exchange cash. Cash will stay, and it will be here. And the public euro is besides as a good alternative for the public, for the people.
How digital euro affects cryptocurrencies?
Macroeconomics, really? I don't have a answer about for it.
If digital euro adopt ground, will Visa go out of business?
No, I believe not. It's been everything had in communication with other institutions, I believe too. But that's a question for people that are working there in the board. Not for me to decide.
What is the end user difference between this and Google Apple Pay with phone?
Sorry, again.
End user difference.
Between Google Apple Pay with phone. Well, what's the key difference? I have some explanations in the presentation. I had some explanations in the presentation. We will have instant transactions. We will be publicly available for everybody. And we will not have intermediaries between. It will be, yeah, in this sign, I'll leave it like this now, because we have no agreements already how it will look like in the end.
What DLT you use to back the IDs?
What DLT? I have a colleague who can answer that.
Hi, so let me first introduce myself. So we in Bratislava here basically implemented this pilot. And what DLT we used for the DID. So there are two DIDs. There is a holder, which is the person holding the cash in his wallet. And then there is issuer, which is the issuer of the wallet, which is your PSP, where you have to where you open the account. And then you have the verifier, which is the other side. And the DIDs, this is a pilot, is a pluggable mechanism through DID resolver, and for verifier and issuer it's DID web, so it's hosted on web, not a central root domain, but each party has its own domain rooted. And then for the holder it's DID key, because basically the part of the pseudo-anonymity is that for each transaction you can generate a new address. So the advantage of using digital euro as opposed to SEPA payment, when you are doing the SEPA operation, you are basically providing your bank account, and you can be correlated based on that SEPA account, all your transaction. Here, for all of your transactions, you can create a new address, and which is basically represented by DID key in the wallet. So whenever you are going to receive a new payment, you can generate a new address for each payment, for each merchant, for each operation, and the operation shouldn't be traceable. So that's the goal. I hope I answered the question.
What technology stack did you use for the pilot?
So for the pilot, it's mainly implemented in Java. The backend parts, and of course then there are some front ends, which is the React is used. So for the mobile app, it's not really a mobile app at this pilot. It is a React app, which is then can be used as a PWA.
Can I create digital euro wallet without KYC?
That's more political question than technical. I'm not sure whether in this phase you actually know, because we are still in the preparation phase. So all the legislation is not there. This is only a proof of concept from the technology perspective. So most of the questions that I heard today are not that relevant for the technology part, let's say, and they are not even decided at this part. So this preparation phase, when they are doing a discovery with technologies, the technologies are not yet set in stone, and this is something actually Bundesbank, as one of the central bank, is playing with, because actually this is coming from the ECB. So Bundesbank is only one part of it, and it doesn't mean it will be delivered this way. If we are still very far away, and the technology is being explored.
Will countries be able to tax digital euro transactions?
I don't think this is the goal really here. This is just, I don't think we are replacing euro. I don't think we are replacing cash. I don't see my mother start using cash and some government, ugly government, will force her to use digital cash in her wallet and then tax her somehow. No, I don't think this is the direction. This is my personal opinion.
I mean, in the end, what's the then benefit for the digital euro if you begin to tax? But as already mentioned, we have no decisions on it already, how it looks like in the end. But yeah, I will tell you just the benefits, and the benefits should persist more than the negative points that have been mentioned here.
How would people buy the digital euro in the future?
Not decided yet. But it will be provided from the central banks in this I believe. I can tell you all too, you can everything see online, this information that I told you about. There is the timeline, how it's going on in the future, and there are really interesting questions too, like this one answered already. And we will provide you everything that you need. If you have further questions, you can write nicklas.urban@accenture.com, or you can write us at innowerk@bundesbank.de, and we will answer you gladly every question that you have. I mean, we are almost last one question. Okay.
Question for a speaker. What negatives does he see about digital euro?
Good question. Till now, I don't see a negative side because I have not too much information about it. I know the technical view, how it can look like, and I find it very good. But there's no negativity in it because we are protecting your privacy. We want to have that your money is safe. And that's a key point that I want to persist. And there are no negatives about it for now.